Have you ever met the connector? Well, he ponders, he helps, he creates, he writes, he speaks. He basically connects people and brings them together. I speak about Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group. At psandallmarketinggroup.com, you will receive an assembled group of Paul's contacts and connections that cross into many sectors of life. Please contact Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com if you are in the market for a wide array of services. Again, please contact The Connector, Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com with any questions. And now, here's Paul Solano, the host of Paul Ponders.
Welcome to Paul Ponders. My name is Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com. Thank you for joining me for my foray into podcasting. It is great to be collaborating with my friend and associate Chalonzo Amos of PodPro Entertainment to bring you some fun, exciting, and informative podcasts. For many years, I've been referred to as the Connector, or in Greater Boston circles as the Connector. With psandallmarketinggroup.com, I've created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please sit back and relax and listen to today's podcast. If you are driving or operating heavy machinery and just listening, then please just listen and stay focused on your task at hand. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy my ponderings. Let #Paul Ponders begin. Greetings. How is everyone doing today? Well, I want to thank you for joining us on #Paul Ponders. Today's sponsor is Project142.org. Make that Project142.org. And that's run by Scott Albertson. Scott with 1T, S-O-N. And Scott, of course, is just a marketing extraordinaire, and he's been a longtime sponsor of #Paul Ponders. So, Scott, I thank you. Dedication around the nation. Thank you, Scott Albertson. Well, I've had many guests throughout the course of the Paul Ponders world, but I am really honored to have the winningest basketball coach in high school sports, high school basketball, Coach Dennis Wilson. Coach Dennis Wilson, welcome.
Happy to be with you, Paul. Thanks for having me. And make sure you clarify in Boston, not in the state, because you got some guys that have been in it longer than me. They got a lot more wins. And there's a gentleman I think has 600 and something wins, and another gentleman with 7. So I'll take the 424.
Absolutely. 424 is a great number. So congratulations. And Coach, it really is an honor to have you on as our guest. And I've known you for about 5 years now. I get to see you at a mutual friend's home in south of Boston. And we have some wonderful chats around the grill while we're doing the steak tips and the ribs, and we're doing barbecuing. And I always ask our mutual friend, Roger, and his wife, Maria, I always say, is Coach Dennis coming to this event? And he says, yes. I said, you just made my day. So it's really a pleasure to have you on.
You're so kind.
And really, we've talked basketball. So let's talk, let's go back to when you were in high school, Boston English. I guess you had a great career at Boston English, and you're in the Hall of Fame.
But track, unfortunately, I ran in. I want to clarify that. I played college ball at Delaware State and Salem State, but I had an unfortunate situation at English High School, and I can tell you that in 20 seconds, that I ran into an individual. I'm not even given the opportunity to mention his name. He and I didn't see eye to eye. My best friends, who we kicked a lot of butt with in BNBL and leagues throughout Boston, they were on the team. But because we all were cutting class one day, Paul, and he didn't throw them out the gym, he just threw me out. So I, of course, wasn't happy about that. I wouldn't leave the gym. And so I ended up telling him to fib on me, and I ended up getting suspended. My parents, parents back then believed the teachers and the principal. So I ended up getting punished, spanked, and it's ironic. So I didn't get chosen for the team because he had it in for me, but I didn't stop my career. I had the honor of beating him. I became a coach at Madison Park High School, my beloved MP Machine Cardinals, and I had a chance. I told my players the story about what that coach of English High did to me, and they said, "Coach, we got you," and they got him. So we beat him by 12. I'll never forget that day, and that was one of the most enjoyable, gratifying wins I've had in my 424.
Wow, that is a great story. That is really something. And I've had a few educators on past podcasts and all, and I want to thank you for being a great educator and a role model for many great students, male and female, throughout the years. So thank you. You're Mr. All in Opus. Indeed. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So let's talk about, we'll just go with the classroom. You taught English, if I remember?
No. I'm a history teacher, world, U.S., and black history.
Okay.
I also was a dean of discipline, chasing the kids into class. Some of them coming from Dudley, where, if those of you are not aware, Madison Park is in Roxbury, right next to RCC in the Reggie Lewis Center, and it's in very historic now Nubian Square, which was formerly Dudley Station. So I would get kids coming through one of the 107 doors at Madison with lunch. So because of not liking the lunch at the school, and I would confiscate the lunch, and I would give it back to them at the end of the day. And then it was funny because some of them, it's cold. I said, well, if I get it at 10 or 11, and you come to get it at 2, I think it's going to be cold. So that was a funny story. I see alumni, and they still talk about it to this day, about how I would scare them to class with my scary booming voice, and also just tough love is called, Paul. Tough love. I still run into these students and ex-students as well as ball players, and they're like now grown and surrogate sons and daughters, and it's just a treasure to introduce me to their sons and daughters. This guy, if it wasn't for this guy, and it's just it's quite an honor to be introduced to former students and players' children that in the way to be spoken of is kind of touching.
That is absolutely remarkable. That's super. So how did you get into coaching basketball?
It's ironic, Paul, that you mentioned that. I was 18, and I'm, of course, proud to be born and raised in Roxbury, and raised up on Homestead and Humboldt Ave. And so it was these young men, boys at the time, 13 and under, and they wanted to play in this league, and they couldn't get in the league if they didn't have a coach. So they came and approached me. I was 18 at the time, and they said, Dennis, can you be our coach? I said, I don't know about coaching. They said, but you know how to play. I said, yeah, but playing and coaching are two different things. But if we don't have a coach, we can't get in the league. I said, I put my name down. So I tried to act like I knew what I was doing, and I would, yell like coaches do, and, very inspiring, motivating, good hustle, Paul, good hustle, Talonzo, good bang, way to go, PJ, bang, come on, slice, dice, whatever names they would give themselves or we would give them. And they end up winning. I said, wow, I like this. And that there, again, so I said 18, 55 years ago.
Wow. And you look 39.
Oh, man. Oh, thank you so much, man. Make sure you put this on tape so I can play it everywhere I go. So I got one person saying that I look 39.
There you go.
I'm a surrogate father to many. I coach track. I've coached football, 33 years at Madison. I coached track at Roxbury High School. I coached girls softball at Roxbury High. I had a good team. And I love working with young people, giving them tough love, kind of arming them with life skills and And I tell them, you don't get a second chance to give a first impression. And it's all about good decisions, making good decisions in your life. We all make mistakes. We all have setbacks, but learning from it and going to getting on with your life, doing the right thing and succeeding in life. We all know how going to pro basketball, Major League Baseball, hockey, although we all dream, and nothing's wrong with dreaming. But I tell them you got to have a backup plan. Educate your mind so you don't have to do crime to make a dime.
That's so true. And I know you have a very, very well-organized, well-thought-out, well-presented Legends basketball program that is thriving. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I got some committed young men that, of course, love getting by. I said, hey, you got to be committed to being the best version of yourself and being the best that you can be. And that's what I tried to instill in my guys. And I also want to give my son a shout-out, Tyreek Wilson, who is really a Harvard trainer, and he trains my guys explosion, plyometrics, balance, speed, quickness, and all the things that they need that they don't think. They think just because they can dribble and shoot that that's all they need. No, you got to have mental and physical strength to be able to deal with all the things that sports has to offer and also the unfortunate things it has to offer.
Right, exactly. Now, wasn't there a documentary that I believe Tyreek and you had produced a while ago?
Well, he didn't produce it. My good friend and co-producer of the sports show I had, Sports Showcase, Rudy Hippolyte, who I got to say he's 2 for 2. We had a National Emmy-nominated film called This Ain't Normal that was on Showtime for about 2 years. And then the first documentary we made that was on ESPN Classic 46 times was called Push Madison versus Madison. And that was about a dysfunctional basketball team that went undefeated, and because of inner jealousy and spite, and it still haunts me to this day. We went 19-0, but didn't win the big prize. Number one in the state at the time. BCI was number 2. Everyone was looking forward to seeing that game, but it never came to fruition because when you're not a righteous individual, Paul, and you don't, respect the game and respect your teammates and respect the process and understand it's a team game and you got to be selfless and unselfish and like the Celtics, and it wasn't, so you don't get rewarded when you're selfish and don't play the game the right way. So that was Push Madison versus Madison. That will haunt me for the rest of my life because that was a championship team. But even the kids now, they still check in with me and say, Coach, if only. I said, yeah, that's why hopefully you learn from that.
That is powerful. Now, for our listeners, again, that was on ESPN Classic?
Yes, sir.
Wow. And is there a link which we'll have in the body of this podcast, but off the top of your head, how would someone find this wonderful production?
Well, what's sad is they could YouTube the trailer, but my partner and I are thinking about it has so much life because there's so many people that haven't seen it. So we're thinking we'll snag films, and we're gonna the contract ran out, so I know it has new life, and because there's thousands upon thousands of folks who want to see it, haven't seen it, so I think we may try to revisit, reboot it, and brought back to life.
I think that's a story that needs to be told. It really does. Retold again and brought back into the forefront.
I believe so. We have a hell of a story. A coach dealing with a lot of, unfortunate situations, dysfunctional families, young men, I'm dealing with dysfunctional households, dealing with grades, failing grades, girlfriend problems, job problems, getting thrown out the house. So I'm trying to navigate all that, plus stay undefeated and get to the Boston Gardens and winning the state championship. So.
Now, I know that you were one of the co-founders, or maybe your brother, if I'm doing all this from memory, I probably should have done better research on this, but your brother and you co-founded the Outdoor Basketball League, was it?
Yes, we co-founded two things that I want to mention. The one that's more dear to me and his heart And unfortunately, I lost my brother Harry G. Wilson III 5 years ago to prostate cancer. Marine, Semper Fi to all Marines out there, thank you for your service. And he and I started the Boston Raiders Youth Football and Cheerleading Program in 1974. We're coming up on our 50th gala. And then he and I also founded the RBA, the Roxbury Basketball Association, with the likes of Mike Dunleavy, former Houston Rockets player and later to become coach, Charlie Scott, who played for the Phoenix Suns and the Celtics, Bad News Barnes, Dave Collins. So we've got some outstanding players, Rudy Williams, Owen Wells, James Bailey played for the Nets. It was quite a league. Folks sitting on ice cream trucks, folks sitting on the tennis court fence, led in deep, coming from Providence, Connecticut, New York to see this league. It was rated the fourth best league in the country. Rutgers was number 1, LA Pro League 2, Sun Hill League in Philly 3, and our Roxbury Basketball RBA was number 4 in the Sports Illustrated.
That is unbelievable with Sports Illustrated and also probably Street and Smith as well, right?
Yeah, they did put a little piece in there, not as big an article as Sports Illustrated, but anytime, wow, you're going back, Paul. Street and Smith, one of the great basketball magazines, high school, college, even pro. Yeah, Street and Smith. Oh man, I don't have magazines like that no more.
Well, I went to Boston, as we've chatted in the past. I went to Boston College and a proud graduate of class of 1984, and I used to hang out with a lot of the basketball team members. So I was there with Juwan Chandler.
Oh, great, one of the great ones. Should have been in the NBA. He was the youngest player, Paul, to play in our league. Hundreds of folks cheer, Chan, as Chan was breaking down old men. And he was the darling of the crowd because he was quite a sensational playmaker, scrum, and I really felt BC could have done him better justice. He definitely had NBA talent, but I think it was Dr. Tom. Was it Tom Davis?
Yes, Dr. Tom Davis, yes, was the coach, and Kevin Mackey was the assistant coach.
Yes.
Over there. Of course, John Bagley, and then he became the number one. He was the number 1 draft pick for Cleveland. Ted Stepien had drafted him as number 1 draft pick, and Michael Adams came along. And, of course, you had Timmy O'Shea, who was from Wayland, and Timmy, I believe, is still coaching, maybe at Bryant, I believe.
Billy Collins, Don Garris.
Yes, yep.
Martin Clark.
Yes, Jay Murphy, right. Martin Clark.
Murphy. There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah, now, so you were just out there meeting so many great students, guiding them and helping them get into different colleges and all that stuff. And when did you actually retire from Madison Park?
Well, hold on to your seat, buckle up. I'm still there. Still coaching.
You're still there? Oh, my word. You're still coaching. Oh, my word.
Yes, I'm still there. This will be my 38th year this year. I owned football 3 years ago, and I'm still there. I thought I had a great young man, Isaac Miller, Coach Miller, but unfortunately, Boston got a little too pricey for him. And him and his wife and his lovely daughter, London, they wanted to buy a home. And they just, Boston has become like the top 3 as far as cost of living. So he ended up moving aside. I said, Coach Miller, 1, you're going to get a coaching job. 2, you're going to get a teaching job. And 3, you're going to find a home, 3 to 4 bedrooms for $200,000 and below. He called me about 10 days later. Coach, how did you know? He said, I bought a beautiful home. He said, half an acre, 2-car garage, 4-bedroom. Then I got a teaching job and a coaching job. And so I just said, hey, I'm happy for you. The Lord works in mysterious ways, Paul. I guess it wasn't meant for you to hang it up.
I love it. So you'll be just expounding and building upon the 424 wins, right?
Without a doubt. I got some real scrappy young kids that I'm very excited to coach. They got unbelievable potential. I just got to teach them to play the game the right way. Nowadays, Paul, with Everything's analytics, threes, breaking ankles. And the game is more than, it's about being unselfish, complimenting your teammates, playing defense, okay, accepting your role, and taking one out of your own. The Celtics, old Celtics and present Celtics, as well as the Golden State and San Antonio, both to an extent, complement each other. It takes a team to beat a team. It takes a team to be a champion.
Words well spoken and well said. And if you look at what the Celtics represented, during their history in working the ball around, playing team ball. This past example, obviously, with them soon to be putting up banner number 18 in a couple of months, it's something that, teamwork and playing together and just playing as a team is what it's all about, and that's what it's all about in life.
Being unselfish, it can't be about me, it's got to be about we. And as I always tell my players, even though they may be coming to see Paul, they see everybody. So if everybody plays well and we win, we all win. And as they understood that, because I know I coached at Brandeis under head coach Kenny Still, who graduated from Brandeis, captain, and ended up imagining you being a captain and end up going back to your alma mater and being the head coach. And he got me on board. And it's just, again, it's about complimenting your teammates, being unselfish, playing selfless basketball, accepting roles. We all would love to be like the great Larry Legend or Paul Pierce or now, of course, Jason Taylor and Jaylen Brown, or even LeBron, Michael, Kobe, and some of the great ones, going back even to the great Bill Russell and John Havlicek, one of my favorite Celtics, and the legendary Will Chamberlain. People just don't want to give the credit to, because these young guys, they need to go back and look at some of the old tapes of the great Oscar Robertson and Jerry West and Elgin Bayless and understand that even though they were so blessed, back then it was more of a team concept, as you know, Paul. Nowadays, everybody's worrying about endorsements, their next contract, sneaker card endorsements, and extensions, and it's really messed the game up for a true lover of basketball and sports in general, like you and I.
Well, when I look at the rule changes and the NCAA with the image and likeness, the NIL, how these college players are really, they're getting paid, if you will, with their likeness. Right. Yeah, but an education, is great and all for them to do that. But it's really just changed the game as far as transferring, and they don't really get redshirted anymore. They pretty much are going from college to college.
Portal, yep.
Yeah, the portal and all. So that's totally new over the past 2-3 years or so.
Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes bureaucracies and systems can take advantage of us common people and athletes, even though they're giving you $100,000, $200,000 scholarship. And if you're bringing millions of dollars to the school, Penn State, $26 million in football. Imagine what Alabama football is bringing. Okay, Georgia football, Clemson. Okay, Duke basketball, North Carolina basketball, Syracuse basketball. Imagine what they're bringing. So if you and your son is bringing millions of dollars, that team, and again, I feel sorry for the sports, say tennis and, those sports, swimming and all them that don't, have the 18,000 seat arenas and 12 and 10,000 seat arenas and don't really have the revenue raising merchandise, overpriced hot dogs and beer and things. But I've always felt that they've really jipped. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see Thought 5 and Jalen Rose saying he's going to bed hungry. but yet he goes to the bookstore and sees their shorts and jerseys and stuff being sold for ridiculous prices. They never saw none of that money. It goes right into the institution. Okay? So me, if our sport, Alabama football and BC basketball and UConn and so on and the great Duke and North Carolina, come on now, share the wealth. I remember as a college player, my mother was poor, and many days I went to bed hungry like Jalen Rose. Right? No money to get no pizza, no money to buy a sandwich, not even money to get a soda. And I had to wait till the next morning to go to breakfast. And then, you know, you're borrowing food from the cafeteria, right, to eat at night. Come on, Paul. It shouldn't be. No. If I'm, like I said, bringing this revenue to your university, bringing all these eyes to your college, as well as, think about it, you're a recruiting piece now. Paul Salato, okay, is McDowell All-American. You're gone first or second round draft. So what? Other people are going to go to your school, go to BC, go to UConn, go to North Carolina Duke. So not only am I winning for you, but I'm also advertising and promoting and recruiting kids to come to your school, because winning schools attract other great players. See, all that's not talked about. It's played down by the NCAA committees and the bureaucrats who are all about making money, building a new building. I'm all for building, whether science building, engineering building, business building, or even a new arena in sports complex. But plenty of athletes that are allowing that to happen.
What a fascinating synopsis of a very interesting issue that's out there in college sports and really in our society and all. And you've actually given me some new perspective to ponder, which is what Paul Ponders does and all.
You gotta ponder.
As always, you know, so the words of wisdom really prevail. I know that we're going to have you back as Paul Ponders' guest once again, because there's really so much to talk about with you, Coach. And as we start to wind down and we just talk about the students, the players of today, the ones who you're coaching and all and mentoring, what are the top two messages you're sending those players today?
Before I give you the two messages, I never want to slight the hard-working, dedicated women who are now finally getting much-deserved exposure, support, okay? So, again, if I could give my program a plug real quick.
By all means,
absolutely. If anybody would like to donate to my Legends Basketball program, they can donate to Legends Basketball. Any amount would be greatly appreciated, from $1 to $5 to $1 million. And it's the P.O. Box 191-581, Roxbury, Mass. 02119. Legends Basketball, P.O. Box 191-581, Roxbury, Mass. 02119. And if I had to leave you with two most important things for an athlete or a young man or young lady that has dreams, and nothing wrong, young ladies and young men, with dreaming big. You should want to be a pro athlete, a Division I scholarship, Division II scholarship player. But at the end of the day, you got to be committed to be the best that you can be and do the best that you can do. And that means grinding, that means sacrificing, that means being committed, whether, again, it's not about your sneakers you wear. It's about wearing out them sneakers, okay? And it's about, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be true to yourself, okay? And that's a hard thing. That the things that you're weak in, you must perfect. Make the things you're good at better, and the things you're not good at, good. And I believe that if folks are committed to being the best version of themselves and being the best of themselves, Respect the game. Be humble. Be humble, be hungry, be focused. And if you can take it, I know I gave you more than two.
That's okay. That is totally okay.
But I believe, I don't care if you want to be, like I said, a decathlon or swimmer, equestrian riding, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, golf, tennis. Now the new thing, I'm sure you're playing pickleball. So
A little. Not a whole lot anymore.
But whatever you want to be good at, you got to commit and put the time in. There's no shortcuts to success, Paul. It's no fun.
No.
But again, the rewards are great. The fruits of your labor. There you go. You heard it from Coach Wilson.
And those are the words to live by for just Paul Ponders, hashtag Paul Ponders, and hashtag Coach Dennis Wilson. So I want to thank you again for being a Paul Ponders guest, Coach, and I definitely know.
Fan.
Yes, well, thank you. Have you rated, reviewed, and subscribed? Yes, you have. So thank you for that. Why don't you give that shout out one more time for Legends Basketball, or if anyone wants to really maybe book you as a guest speaker, a motivational speaker. We have lots of people who tune in and could use some true inspiration, and that's what you're all about, Coach. So do you want to give one final plug?
Sure. Thanks so much for the complimentary words and having me on.
Sincerely.
I'm always trying to send a positive message to whoever wants to listen. So it's Legends Basketball, P.O. Box 191581, Roxbury, Massachusetts, the very historical Roxbury, Massachusetts, 02119.
And also I'll chime in with your email, which is mpride1@verizon.net, and that MP is for Madison Park, Pride, the Cardinals of Madison Park, right?
The high-flying Cardinals, okay?
There you go. I love it.
MP Pride, number one, second to none.
I love it. So there you have it, everyone, from the winningest coach in Boston basketball history, and still adding to 424 wins. We got a Hall of Fame person. Just a Hall of Fame person. That's all I have to say. Coach, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being a guest. And we look forward to touching upon many more things. And maybe next episode, we're going to talk about your past experience as a Boston sports talk show host. So we'll talk about that down the road, right?
Love to.
We won't wait until barbecue at our friend Roger Maria's home to talk about that, because you'll be a future Paul Ponders guest.
Roger's a great friend of mine. He's been instrumental in supporting Rudy and I's filmmaking to the point where he got us our first deal with Rob Gordon Sr., and that was again Rick Allen with ARL. And we can't thank him enough. And with 2 for 2, got another one coming up, the Neighborhood Oasis. We're going to highlight Rudy and I the value of barbershops and beauty salons, right? And what they mean. Everybody loves and has a story to tell in a barbershop and a beauty salon.
I love it. Unfortunately, I don't spend so much time in a barbershop these days. So I used to spend a lot of time in a barbershop way back when. BITD. Coach, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're awesome.
Thank you for having me, Paul. Take care.
Thank you. Hashtag indeed. I trust that you have enjoyed hashtag Paul Ponders. Again, my name is Paul Solano of PS&All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com to do some more pondering. Many thanks to my longtime collaborative friend and associate, Alonzo Amos of Pod Pro Entertainment, in bringing you our fun, exciting, and informative podcasts. You rock, Techie Alonzo. With PS&All Marketing Group, I created a side gig to connect you and get things done. please do not hesitate to reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com with any questions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Paul Ponders. Follow us on Twitter at Paul Ponders Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Paul Ponders Podcast. Thank you again for listening to #Paul Ponders, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, paulponders.com, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by PodPro Entertainment. #Paul Ponders lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. #the new radio. Until we meet again, my friend, stay well. #Indeed.